Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and we're continuing here in Comber, and we're now going to go into St Mary's Church, and Desi is going to mention a few of the memorials and stuff that is in the church here. And so this is inside then of the St Mary's Church. There's two monuments up here on the wall. What are these then, Desi?
Right, well this is one of the mysteries of St Mary's. A couple of stone plaques going back to the 17th century.
My goodness.
You see one of them is dated 1633 and the other 1637. Below the dates we have coats of arms, and we also have a couple of mottos or something like that.
Yeah, you can see the dates at the top of them, Desi.
You can.
So that one there is Friday Plain 1637, I think that says.
1637 and the other 1633.
33.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what were you saying there, sorry?
No, below them is there's coats of arms, and then below that again there are mottos. And for instance, in that 1637 one, it says something like, "Thus enjoined by God," whatever that means. So it's all really a bit of a mystery. And well, someday maybe we'll get to
Did
the
you say it
bottom of
means this unjoined by God?
Well, that's what it looks
The only
like.
thing I can think of, Desi, and I could be wrong here, but the only thing I can think of is, do you remember in Genesis where it says concerning marriage, what the Lord has joined together, let that man put asunder?
Right.
So it might be referring actually to that. I'm not too sure. It's only a guess, you know.
Possibly.
Possibly, like, you know. But there you are. And then this is this is the bell rope, Desi.
Yeah, well.
But it's not used now, is it?
It's not used now.
It's
all electronic.
Yep. A lot of them are going that way, aren't they?
Yeah.
You can see right up there to the bell tower.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it is fantastic. And then you want us to see inside the church then as well, does it?
Inside.
First of all, Desi, this is an amazing church, I have to say. Look at that ceiling.
It's a lovely
My
church.
goodness.
Yeah.
That is incredible, Desi. That is absolutely incredible. What were you going to say there, sorry?
I want you to notice how thick the walls are coming into the church.
Yes.
I mean, why should they be so thick? There is a theory that these were the walls of the original 17th century church of the planters, because they found traces of a window in this wall.
Huh.
And I mean, why would there be traces of a window in this wall when on the other side of it you have a tower?
Yes.
And again, somebody said, you know, the wall would be too thick for a 17th century plantation church. It's maybe the wall that they reused of the old abbey.
Yes. And wait, what's these? These are like windows here, these indentations. What do you know anything about them, Desi?
Not really, just some sort of a recess that something would have sat in, maybe.
Oh, is that what they're for?
Yeah,
Yes.
They're not windows.
They're not actually windows then?
No.
Yes.
I wanted to show you the...
So just before we move on, do you reckon that this actually could be from the original Abbey then? Or at least the 12th century?
Very possibly. Yeah.
Very good, Desi, very good.
But I want to show you this font,
Uh-huh.
which is also very unusual. It's made of a stone called porphyry, and we don't get porphyry here in Northern Ireland. It's more from some of the Mediterranean countries. The interesting thing about it, though, is there's another font made of porphyry in the parish church at Killalay.
Yes.
It's very, very old. It certainly predates the 1840 church. Some say that it is probably medieval.
Fantastic.
It has even been suggested that it could have been brought back from the Crusades.
You're joking. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I see it's a wee bit of damage on it, does it?
Well, that's been done years and years ago. Just to mention some of the baptisms that have taken place here. Our famous general in the square, Sir Robert Rollo Gillespie.
Is that him that's on top of the big, what do you call that spiral?
Pillar.
The pillar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him, born 1766 in Comber. But the other baptism was the infant daughter of Osborne and Patricia King. Patricia King's mother had been lady in waiting to Princess Elizabeth, our late Queen.
You're joking.
And in 1946, Princess Elizabeth actually visited the church here. And she was godmother at the baptism of that baby.
So that was the Queen herself was here?
That was the Queen herself.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So you have a royal visitor here then?
Oh yes.
So you have. That's incredible.
Just to mention a couple of them, we talked about Guy Stone's grave
Yes.
out in the churchyard earlier on. These two monuments here, one over here
Yes.
and one on the other side, are connected to the Stone family.
Yes. That's Guy Stone. That was the grave.
Guy Stone actually put this monument here in 1855.
Oh, did I?
And his daughter Elizabeth Bessie Stone put this one here a bit later on, 1922.
Fantastic. I'll just give them a wee look at this one as well. You can. That's Samuel. But it says there Guy Stone at the top, as you can see.
Yes. Well,
Very good.
Guys and Samuels seem to have been very popular names in the family.
Yeah.
And in fact, Guy Stone, who wrote the diary, his grandfather is shown here as the Reverend Guy Stone, and
Is he on this
he
tablet here?
yeah,
Where's he in that now, does he?
he's about the second one down there.
I see a major there,
Below him,
just below him.
the Reverend Guy Stone, M.A. of Barnhill, eldest son of the above, for 26 years curate or incumbent of this parish.
Yes, I see him now.
That of Newton Ards.
I see it now. There's the Reverend Guy Stone there. And who was the major then?
He was his father.
Oh, is that right? Huh. There you are now. That's fantastic. And what else then? Is this the war memorial here then? The wee plaque for the war?
This is the war memorial, and beside it we have a couple of plaques. Now, what they are, they're in memory of Edmund de Wind, who was Comber's only winner of the Victoria Cross. And after the First World War, these a captured German field gun was presented to the people of Comber in memory of Edmund de Wind, who had been killed in 1918 out in France. So these plaques here are the plaques that were on that gun.
That's fantastic.
The gun was removed in 1940 during the Second World War for scrap metal to help the war effort.
Amazing. I'll give them a wee close-up then, Desi, of these.
Okay.
That's fantastic. That's Edmund de Wind. Is that a Dutch name, Desi?
It would originally be Dutch. Certainly, I think his father was was born out in Indonesia, Singapore, sort of that area.
Yes.
And the Dutch at one time owned a lot of that territory.
Yes, very good.
So the name is originally
I thought it
Dutch.
was with the D. DE's normally,
Yeah.
you get a lot of Dutch people with the DE, don't you?
Yeah.
You know?
I know. This monument here, two of the previous rectors of Comber, George Birch and his son, George Watson Birch, both rectors here in Comber, and they seem to have been well thought of by the people.
Very good. And there's a lot of memorials in this wee church then.
There's a
And
lot,
you,
yeah.
you wanted to talk a wee bit about this window then that's in front of us, didn't you,
Yes,
Desi?
what we're looking at is the east window, and it's in the chancel, which was dedicated in 1896, along with the window. And it's in memory of a man called George Allen, who lived at Unicarville, just outside Comber.
Yes.
And he had a very large herd of pedigree cattle, shorthorn cattle, said to be the largest in Ireland and possibly even the largest in the United Kingdom.
Huh?
So that was George Allen
goodness.
of Unicarville.
And what sort of cattle did you say they were there?
Shorthorns,
Shorthorns cattle?
yeah.
Huh? My goodness. I'll just give them a wee view of the window here, Desi.
You've got the figures of faith, hope and charity
Yes.
on the window.
1 Corinthians 13.
That's it.
And then there's another big window there as well,
Yes,
Desi.
We're heading into the north transept, and it was the north transept dates from 1913 and is in memory of a former rector of Comber called George Smith. The window is dedicated to John Allen, who was a son of the George Allen on the previous window that we were looking at, and he died in the 1930s. We have a lot of farming scenes on this window.
Yes.
So that's the north transept. And we also have the south transept, which is the most recent part of the church, dedicated in 2009. And dominating the south transept, we have this window, stained glass window, with the figure of a Cistercian monk. And this really brings us back again to the original Comber Abbey. But not only do we have the stained glass window with the picture of a monk, we also have stones from the original Abbey.
Oh, that's amazing.
So if you follow me over this way.
Is this them here then?
This is them. If you look at this board here, first of all, this explains it. This monument was in a garden off Comber Square. The people who lived in the house called it the Monk for obvious reasons. And it had been built up into this monument in 1931 by a man called Tom Campbell, who had been the gardener
Yes.
at the house. But it was brought to our attention, and the owners of the house the Willis family.
Uh-huh.
They decided to donate the stones to the people of Comber. So the monument was dismantled
Yes.
and the stones were brought into the church here.
That's incredible.
After being all cleaned up. And they were put into the sort of format that they would have originally been in. And up on the top of the doorway we can see the head.
Brilliant.
Archaeologists told us, it's not a monk at all, it's a king.
It's a king. I'll just show them the comparison so that here's the comparison here, Desi, so that they can see. So there you can see the head there, and then the blocks beneath. So that head is actually the head there.
That's the head that you can see above
That's
the
incredible,
doorway.
Desi.
Yes.
And it's a king, it's not a monk at all then.
It's a king. You can make out a crown on his head.
Yes, you can indeed. My goodness. That is incredible. And is there anything else then you want to show us, Desi?
Yes, there's a few more stones over in the
Over here,
cabinet
yes.
over here.
Uh-huh. And is that from the 12th century monastery as well then, Desi?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
The archaeologists did tell us that the stones from that monk were 14th century. So they're not from the early part of the abbey, but they're
The later part?
built a bit later on.
Aye, so they're from the 14th century then? Yeah. Very good. Well, that's incredible, Desi, and thanks very much for your tour. And we're going to talk a wee bit in the next video of the connection here in Comber with the 1798 rebellion. Okay. So that's something to look forward to. So again, thank you for joining watching the Church History Trail. And if you enjoy the channel, then please don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll just give you another review around the church to let you see, and then we'll wrap this wee video up. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. God bless.